Hey, everybody, I'm live. They told me I was alive. I know I'm alive. And I know you're out there too, trying to find out what is Marilyn Green going to talk about today. Well, this is Girl Who Don't You Know talk show with me, Marilyn Green. I am the host. Now, I got a little announcement to make. This is 1 year of Girl Who Don't You Know. I started off last year with mental health awareness, and I am coming back to say it's been 1 year, and we're going to be talking about mental health awareness, mental health disease, mental health today. Mental health is so very important. And just because they have it for 1 month does not mean it's not going on the whole year. Okay. So it's I always use this word, it's incumbent upon you to always think about your mental health and mental health of others. So right now, I want anybody that's on, if you're coming on or need to come on, I want you to share. And if you need to make comments and stuff, just go to my Facebook page, Girl Who Don't You Know, and you can post your comments there because we want to hear from you. The audience is very important, and we have a dynamic, outstanding person that's coming up. I tell people, say, well, where you get that name from, Girl Who Don't You Know? Well, you know where I got it from? People keep saying, Girl Who Don't You Know? Well, I'm going to tell you what, I do not know this young lady that's coming up, okay? I know she's pretty. I always say that. I know she's pretty. She's smiling. And I know that she's talking about something that I really thought about. And I saw her on a clip that her sister had put on her Facebook page. And I said, she's doing exactly what I thought about. I'm not a psychotherapist or anything like that, but I know that music and people, everybody likes music, okay? Some sort of music. And sometimes, what do they say? Sometimes it can soothe the person's soul. And I think that is basically what we're going to be talking about today. So let me see what the comments are here. Oh boy, okay. Annabelle, good evening to you, Annabelle. True Prince, you on time tonight. Hey, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm so excited. So so share with your friends. If you're coming on, tell me where you're from. Put your name in there. Tell me where you're from. I've had people on there from Mississippi, and I spell it out every time. Mississippi. So tell me where you're from, okay? And we're gonna get started in just a minute. But in the meantime, hello, young lady. I really like you, True Prince. I really do. Okay. So let me see here. So this is my show, and I always say I'm transforming minds one show at a time. So you might know somebody that you say may be good to be on your show, Marilyn, okay? Or you may be good to be on my show. Please don't hesitate to write me, girl, wdyk@gmail.com. I'll be happy to have you on my show. I mean, some things are coming up that's going to be new. I'm going to have something about sisters doing it again. And also, I'm going to have brothers doing it. So if you know somebody that you need to come on my show, please don't hesitate. Please let me know. I want to know. Okay. So like I said, I'm Marilyn Green, Girl Who Don't You Know. This is my talk show, my bucket list. Okay. So what are we doing today? Okay. We are going to talk about hip hop and mental health. And we have a young lady that's all the way from, I think it's Milwaukee, MKE. I think they say that all the time. Okay, and she's going to be coming up wait, I got to say this one. Carla Kimber in the house. Hello, Miss Marilyn. Hello there, Carla. And thank you so much for telling us about your amazing sister. I love how they tell me I will be right back. Okay, True Prince. I wouldn't know if you come back, but don't play. You better come on back, okay? Because we're going to jump this party off. You don't want to miss it, okay? You just don't want to miss it, all right? So let's go back to hip hop and mental health. So let me get her banner together because you guys know I'm a baby boomer. Hear me roar. And I'm getting ready to bring up to the stage none other than Tarsha some kind of way I want to say your name, like Tarsha Wiggins. I'm going to bring her up right now. Hi, Tarsha. Some kind of way I wanted to just say like Tarsha Wiggins. Here. Okay. And we're so happy that you're here at this time. And so I'm just excited about it. So you are from Milwaukee. Have you always been in Milwaukee?
Say that again.
I said, have you always been in Milwaukee?
I lived in Illinois for a few years, but born and raised in Milwaukee.
Oh, really? Okay. I've only been to Milwaukee one time, and that's when I met your sister. I had never.
You had a great trip, it sounds like.
Yeah, I went all the way up there, and I'm like, I usually don't go up north. I usually go south. Okay. So going up there, I laugh and I tell people I'm about to get a nosebleed. It is too far up. Okay, it's too far.
Geez.
We don't do that, you know. It's like no, no, no. But we certainly are so happy to so happy to have you on today and coming all the way from Milwaukee, and you got a long name here. You're a psychotherapist, a certified alcohol and drug counselor. And what we talk about today is definitely about trap therapy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so new to me. Okay. And I understand about trap music. I studied a little bit before I got on here. Okay. I understand about what it is a little bit and how they got the word trap and all that and stuff, you know. But for the people who don't know where trap music started, can you tell us a little bit about that, Tarsha?
Yeah, so it originated in the South. There's actually a trap music museum down in Atlanta, ran and I think it's operated by T.I. But essentially, it's just the term itself originated in the South and in a negative connotation around trap houses where there were drug houses or dope houses kind of thing. And from that, music that coincide with that type of lifestyle and mentality and thinking like merge with that. But I use the term in the sense of trap therapy because it does exactly what I wanted to do, make people stop and ask, what is that? And then I get to have a great conversation with them about exactly what trap therapy is. And that is me essentially taking urban hip hop music, the radio edited versions, taking that music and intersecting that with psychotherapy, clinical aspects that we work to help people that are struggling when they're having emotional difficulty at times. So it's essentially the merge between going to like a nightclub and a group therapy session. You walk in, the sessions are always held in a place in the community that's familiar, it's warm and comfortable. We have a live DJ. DJ L Boogie has been our DJ for all of our trap therapy sessions thus far. And then we also have free food. We have raffles, giveaways. This is a whole experience. It's a vibe. It's a whole vibe. But what really brings all of this together is that we take music that you hear on the radio and we pair that with cognitive behavioral therapy components. We're talking about depression, trauma, anxiety, healing, suicidal ideations, coping skills, things like that. So it's really an opportunity for people to embrace and a mutual experience is something they're familiar with and take away a wealth of information. Truly, my organization, Speak Wellness, was birthed, and our mission is to reduce the stigma around mental illness in the Black and Brown communities. So a lot of times people are very guarded when we're talking about mental illness or emotional wellness, and we use music to help bring that guard down so that we can have meaningful, dynamic, and impactful conversations around their emotional wellness.
So, Tarsha, let me ask you this. When the people tell us about mental illness, period, you know, people always think it's somebody with bipolar. They always think it's somebody schizophrenic. They also think, you know, I know a little bit about this. Somebody diagnosing a DSM 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever that book is. You know what I'm saying? I know a little bit to talk. I'm dangerous, okay? But it's not necessarily just that. I mean, when you're having a problem in your head. Now, you did say something, and I don't know it's in that clip that I wanted to play about you say when you got a toothache, you go to dentist. When you got a, I have researched you. And when you got this, then you go to a psychologist.
Yeah.
Tell us that. Tell us something about that.
Yeah, so when we talk about therapy, and I'm glad you asked that question, in Maryland, because a lot of times we think that, oh, I'm not crazy, that I'm not those people. And the reality is that having an emotional difficulty or a challenge in your life does not make you crazy. It doesn't make you weird. And I think that that's the work, and what I'm aiming to do with my organization is reduce that stigma. Crazy, or the true definition of insanity, is doing the same thing expecting a different result. So you
Exactly.
know that you are struggling with something internally, emotionally, where you don't have any energy, you're not happy, you don't feel joy, you feel overwhelmed. There's something different. Or maybe you felt this way so long that you believe that this is just how you are, because there are people like that, that you have been depressed for a very long time. And what we will do is we will stay with or stay within what we know, because we're so ashamed, or because we feel judged by other people to say, hey, I need help, or there's something going on with me, so we won't talk about it. So I literally made that Instagram reel you mentioned, is to again help bring acknowledgement to the fact that, baby, you special. You so special that you only see specialists. When your foot hurt, you see the podiatrist. When your tooth hurt, you see the dentist. So why is there any difference that if you're having emotional pain, you're having thoughts or things going on in your body that you just know it's like something else is going on, you should see specialists in that area. And those specialists are psychologists, therapists, or your favorite trap therapist. And I think it's really just about having those conversations and planting those seeds. There are so many people walking around with hurt and pain. And when those things, those seeds have been planted, they've been watered, they have taken root, and they have bloomed and flourished, and other things are now with that. So it went from pain and hurt to now anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. These are things that's been ruminating. But wouldn't it be something if we got to a place in our Black and Brown communities where we can talk about those things? You don't have to feel guilt and shame and embarrassment around those things, and get you some help.
Yeah.
Get connected with someone. And mental illness or emotional challenges does not only warrant if you're feeling depressed or if you're feeling anxious or something out of the DSM-5, right? The clinical diagnoses, but that also just means good emotional wellness. We go see a primary care doctor once a year just to do a general checkup. Make sure there's nothing else going on and brewing, right?
Right.
What's the harm in doing a yearly check-in with a person that specializes in your emotional wellness? There's no harm in doing that. But we have so much stigma and guilt around all those things.
Well, Anna says, I am a well-rounded person, but my depression can alter my well-rounded self for days.
Yes, it can.
I love the fact that she's owning it. Okay. I know what it is. I'm owning it. And I know that it alters my days. Okay. So, I mean, what can you say to Anna as far as that depression will come? It will alter your days, but I think it's to alter, how far does it alter? You know what I mean? Is there
Yeah.
a degree of altering that when you need to say, I need to go get help?
Yeah, yeah. I think for Anna, it sounds like, and this is me kind of putting some things together, for her to be able to identify and acknowledge that, like, this is depression, my depression, she's that ownership of it. She also then knows that when these things start brewing, AKA my triggers, my warning signs, when these things happen, it starts to rise in me, or these behaviors present themselves, then that's when those coping skills and those other things that you do to help manage those symptoms. So if the depression is altering my, well-rounded self, then what things do I have to do to help keep me grounded in the things that help me feel well? That could be a combination of medication, that could be movement, because a lot of times we think, and we have historically in our Black and Brown communities, we have been mistreated medically. So we don't trust. I understand that, I know that. But there's also more than just take a pill for everything. physical movement, laughter, light exposure, whatever those things are to help you feel well. Now, I'm not going to say that you may never need medication, because sometimes people do, but there's also a variety of other things that you can do when you start to feel those things coming up, when they're trying to steal your peace and steal your joy. And I'm going to throw in here and incorporate some good prayer, some praise and worship opportunities, because so often we want to keep those things separate. Like, you can't be saved and have depression. Yes, you can. The devil is busy. He's here to kill, steal, and destroy. So if he can take your mind, if he can steal your peace away, that's exactly what he will do.
Right. So True Prince said he back. Okay, good, True Prince.
Thanks, Prince. I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad you're back. Okay, so I think maybe that how did you get into this? You know, why trap music? Well, where you get this from, girl, as they say? Okay.
So the quick version is that my mom has an amazing gift to talk to strangers anywhere. So as a child, she's a Southern woman too. So it was just a custom for her to just stop and make small conversation with people. And as a child, I found that to be the most annoying thing ever. And then as an adult, I'm like, hey, I don't mind talking to people. Like, I like this thing. And then ultimately found my way into studying social work in the field of helping and understanding and things like that. So I feel like I got that gifting from her, and just that, like, I'll talk to you, I'll listen to what's going on. So I feel like I got a good bulk of that from her. But in the height of the pandemic, a couple of things happened for me. I still have a corporate job in leadership. So here I am in the height of the pandemic, trying to be I was and am an effective leader in my corporate position. But I also was virtually assisting my 3 children with homeschooling and that virtual stuff. And, log on at this time, we can't hear, the internet not working. And, so just all those things. And I have a great husband, but he works in an environment that when everybody else got sent home, he got called in to come work more. So I just felt very overwhelmed. I was on my front porch on the verge of tears after a day of just doing all of that. And I literally just had this moment that came over me, is that if I'm struggling, and let me just throw this out here, mental illness does not discriminate. Mental illness don't say, oh, you know what? You lost your mom last year. You know what? I'm going to skip you. You had a hard year. No, mental illness don't work like that. It don't discriminate. But I'm sitting on my porch and I'm on the verge of tears, and I'm saying to myself, if I'm overwhelmed like this, and I have all of this education, I have all this know-how and what to do and how to do these things. And if I'm still struggling, I know my community is hurting.
Yes.
I know that there's a need out there. And I knew that before, but how much more that need has risen. And I already know that we are not inclined usually to seek help or to accept help even when it's given or offered. So that's where Speak Wellness was birthed. I also, as a part of my own self-wellness in terms of managing my own good emotional and mental health, I do a lot of exercising. I was jogging one day, listening to urban and hip hop music, and I'm jamming, and I'm like, man, one song come on, I was like, oh, I could talk about healing on this. And then another song came on, and I'm like, oh, this would be good. I could talk about this and this. And then I was like, I should do trap therapy. So I came home jogging and told my husband about it. He was like, yeah, you should do that. And here we are.
Okay. So Anna says God therapy and meds and taking part of great events like this. You're right, Anna. Keep it up. Keep it up. Okay. And Prince says it's my pleasure to be here, and it is a pleasure to have you, True Prince. It is.
Awesome.
All right. So I asked the main questions that people probably are asking, but they're probably asking even more, what is all this trap stuff about? Okay. So we do have a clip of Tarsha talking. And so she's going to, and I think I'm going to add it to the stream, and I think she will handle it from there, I think.
Yep, I can do that.
We're going to be conducting trap therapy here at G's Clippers. Trap therapy is the use of urban hip-hop music to drive meaningful and dynamic conversations around mental health in the Black and Brown community.
Nice.
But when we talk about how do we move through healing, first thing first, you can't heal something that you didn't know. You got to come out of denial. Two, you got to have this level of awareness. You got to be able to call that thing what it is, put what it is. You got to put these things in places. You got to know what it is. And then, y'all, the next phase is confrontation. This is where it gets. You be like, hey, I love this phase. Because this is a phase where you knuckle up. This is a phase where you have to engage that thing. You no longer deny. You no longer not aware of what's going on. You know what depression is. You come outside and you say, meet me outside. You see that anxiety, you say, I'm going to take my earrings off. You come outside and you see that anxiety, you see those suicidal thoughts coming around the corner, you say, and you can get it too. This is the phase where you knuckle up. This is where you do your work. This is where you say, I'm going to call my friends too. Ain't scared. That's where you in the house with the Vaseline. Don't act like y'all didn't do it. This is that time where you get going. This is where you work your treatment plan. You do the work. This is where you face off with that thing. You are no longer a hamster and you just own that wheel. You finally have stopped. You have turned around. You said, depression has got to go. Bipolar disorder, this mood irregularity has to go. I'm doing the work today. Yes. It's confrontation time. Confrontation sounds more formal. So I say this that time where you be like, I'm doing it. We about to throw balls. And I'm going to win. Tell yourself, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. You're going to win this fight. Because a lot of people are fighting depression, fighting anxiety, fighting mood disorders, fighting suicidal thoughts, and they're losing because they're still in bed.
Wow. Now, you know what? I want to give a little hand clap. I know y'all probably can't hear me, but you are amazing. And people are saying, hey, I love it, Lanika Lloyd Thomas, Paparazzi, Jacksonville, Florida. Gonna put a little plug out there for you. And
Thank you.
said, I never listened to gospel music, but now that's all I've been listening to for my own peace. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do what you got to do. And Lanika Lloyd Thomas said, yes. Okay. So one thing you said in there, and that was really nice. I loved it. I love how everybody was hyped. Everybody was pumped. Everybody seemed relaxed. You said it's confrontation time. Talk about that.
So that was a clip from our last trap therapy. One of our last trap therapy. The layout for trap therapy is we have breakthrough sessions with intermissions throughout, and that's really designed that way to give people an opportunity to process the information that was just shared. That segment came from a particular portion where we discussed healing, and we went through the stages of healing. And I'm a huge proponent of saying, I'm not just going to tell you something, I'm going to show you what that looks like. Everybody say, oh, baby, you got to heal. You got to let that thing go. Don't let them, they got power over you. They got control over you. All of those things are true. But what no one has really broken down and showed you how to do is how to do that. How do I heal? So we went through some stages of healing, and I believe the third stage talked about is confrontation time. You're in denial, then you have a level of awareness where you're like, wait a minute. First, I really didn't know. Now I'm kind of recognizing this and that. And then you come to this place where it's like, that's it. I'm confronting this thing. And the confrontation, I'm someone who's more extroverted. I get it done. You got problems with me, meet me outside, and you'll be out there by yourself because I don't got time for that.
Let's do this. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in that course, in that breakthrough through session, it really is about helping people be able to apply and understand. And while we're having those conversations, we're doing it from a perspective that's culturally relevant. We're inserting and we're interjecting those things and those hangups and those systems that we learned in our families and our communities. Where that's family business. We don't talk about that. Family business is also a great code word for generational trauma. Because it's family business, you know, we don't talk about it. We don't address it. That trauma is being handed down to me. You don't know how to talk to nobody. So I don't know how to talk to nobody. So now we just verbally abusive to anybody and everybody that we have contact with. So those are the types of things that we're talking about. And then we can go on and talk about how can we develop a healthier communication pattern? What does it mean to have a conversation with your mother where you disagree, but yet you can still be respectful? You never learned that because kids were told to be seen and not heard.
Hey, that's good. I'm going to take Lanika Lord Thomas. You talking good, sis.
Thank you.
All right. Brenda Eddings Bay said, very different, unique. And this is a great way to reach younger generations and millennials, even some adults. You know that's right. Okay. And then True Prince said, crunk music just suppressed my anger. True Prince, you come back week after next, still continuing in that mental health place. And then I'm bringing somebody on talking about anger management. Okay. Come on back and don't be late. You know how it is. Okay.
I do have a question for Prince though. When he said, I do have a question when he said crunk music suppressed my anger. Was it suppressed like pushing the anger down, or was it an outlet for the anger? Like it released or it relieved some of that anger because you were able to exert some energy.
Okay, come on, True Prince. You better start typing, okay? We're gonna move along here with Darren. So what goes in this house stays. What goes on in this house stays in this house. You know what the story is. hey. You might be traveling because Lanika Lord Thomas said we need you in Jacksonville.
Okay? I would love to.
Oh yeah, so True Prince, you better start typing and give us an answer.
All right. I also wanted to respond to the other comment about what goes on in my house stays in our house. I think we all grew up with that mentality, and I'm not saying that mentality doesn't have value, but I do believe that some of the things that went on in our house stayed in our house. And for some of us, we didn't have the proper outlets and resources and support for people to always feel safe in their house.
Okay.
I'm saying now, if things was on the up and up at your house, that's great then. But I feel like there is so often where people were abused, and I think that our definition and our understanding of abuse has changed because a lot of things now things that I grew up in are things that I don't do to my children. And I think that a lot of that wasn't, and one of those things, and I always talk about this, we always were taught sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words will never hurt me. We really operated from that mentality. And I think we all know now that words will cause far more damage in us. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that like when we just have layers and thinking and operation that way, it can possibly breed a really unhealthy and unsafe environment. Look at our youth.
Yes.
Look at our children, y'all.
And Darren Suggs is a mover and shaker around in these neck of the woods. And he said that's the phrase that's a generational curse. He also says that building rapport and allowing you to define themselves with respect. And so he also says, help. I need somebody. Okay. And then Brenda Eddings Bay say yes. And Annabelle say, hey, this is beyond true. So let's get back to True Prince. Speaking of true, he said what happened to him is that he just shuts down. So yeah. So whatever that shutdown talk is, I'm not really sure. But like he said that happens to him. And so let's see what Darren is saying, which is good. Whatever it takes in order to calm yourself down, Yeah. So Darren says trauma is silent. Yell for help.
Okay. Yeah, it can be.
Lanika said words will hurt you and last longer than a physical hit. It's like, okay, just hit me in the eye. Stop all that passive aggressive stuff messing me up.
Right.
Messing me up. Okay.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we yell in silence. That's a powerful thing here. Talk about this what Brenda Eddings Bay is talking about, how we yell in silence. Oh, wow.
Wow, that is a great way to define it. I think that we can yell in silence. We do a lot of these things, and I'm almost thinking silence from that thing of what goes on in my house stays in my house, that behind closed doors, I'm hurting, I'm screaming out for help. So I can see it from that perspective. But there's also opportunities where you can have all these things accessible to you and you fail to engage because of fear, because of that stigma that I don't want to be one of those people. And let's just be 100 and put that out there. I'm first lady at the church. I can't be seen and associated with those things. I'm an elder. I'm an usher, right? I can't be. What I'm saying is, I believe sometimes people they may believe that perception of them or them affiliating or being honest about some of those things will be reflective of they're not a good Christian. God is punishing me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, and that can't be so much further than the truth.
Yeah, and I like Brenda. She says therapy helps to peel that stuff away. You're right. You're right. And Carla Kimber, the sister of Tarsha, it should be seen and not heard. We taught our children how not to communicate. This is why most of us do not know how to communicate. And I label them as socially awkward. We taught our kids to be socially awkward, that they don't know how to engage, they don't know how to communicate. Something might be bothering them, but they don't know how to get it out so that someone can help them. And so they just don't do anything. Okay.
Yeah. And what we will see with that is that when children can't communicate, when they have that difficulty with that, what we oftentimes will see is that's when you'll see those acts of aggression. I went to a great training that talked about, is it trauma or is it ADHD?
Oh,
it can look the same. It can look the same: hyperarousal, hypervigilant, poor dysregulation, inability to communicate. So in short, we are good and we're creatures of doing what we know works. If I can't tell you what's bothering me, I can put these on you and get you up off me.
That's right.
And us grown people are really good with that too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, look, Darren says, look me in the eye and tell me what is wrong. And Anna says, sometimes everyone wants you to listen, but no one will listen to you. You know, now that's another thing. Let's stop right there and put a pin right there. People do not know how to do active listening. Okay. They do not do active listening. They are waiting to say something else.
Yes.
While you're doing this. Okay. You know, it's just so it's bad. You need to listen. Brenda Eddings Bay said, I call it socially disabled or disadvantaged, and I can put another one on it, handicapped. Okay. You're handicapping your children when you don't teach them how to articulate or to get it out. You know how a long time ago you run in the house, you know something hurt, your parents will say, baby, what's wrong? Well, baby, that's what's wrong, okay? Baby, what's wrong? No, I don't want to talk about, baby, what's wrong? I know something wrong. My mother used to say, now who hit you? Nobody hit me. You know, you take that physics saying somebody did hit you, but they may have hit you with the words, because sticks and stones, okay, will hurt my mom, or words will never hurt me. And words, I think it was Lanika, them words be with you, and they show up at night, okay? They show up any place where you may, for me, if I get extremely tired, I hear the words. But as long as I get my rest, get my exercise, and I don't have it.
Yeah.
So that's my coping skills. Okay.
Well, let me throw this out there. I think some of us are still hearing words from our childhood, and we're 30, 40, 50 upward years of age from there. We still are hearing words of, ha ha, you can't do it. Ha ha, you ain't gonna never be nothing. You just like your no good, da 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 da. We may not hear it in that sense, but when you have that self-doubt, you're up for a promotion. You get that. You hear that, right? You hear that in your head. I'm not good enough. I can't do this.
Okay.
Those words still resonate.
All
And
right.
that's what I meant earlier about those seeds have been planted and they have taken root and other things have been birthed out of those. But we got to do the work. And when you hear those things and when you catch yourself thinking that way or entertaining those thoughts, you have to dismantle those thoughts. And that's not always easy, but that's why you can get connected with the mental health provider. It don't make you crazy. It does not make you crazy.
Let's talk about mental health providers. So many times people will go to a mental health provider and they say, oh, no, they just ain't the one. They ain't doing this and stuff. Okay. It's just like anything. You might not shop at this grocery store, but go to another grocery store. You're not going to starve because you didn't like that person at that grocery store. Don't stop. It's not going to stop in your head. So don't stop. Okay.
Right. Yes.
So here's your sister saying, how do you dismantle the thought? Speak to this. Carla, get her.
Well, before I speak to that, I want to jump on and piggyback what you just spoke to. I always give the analogy about like shoe shopping because I think a lot of ladies and a lot of men these days be getting down too. They think we don't know they be shopping, but they be fly too. This is no different than when you are looking for that perfect pair of shoes. You will go to 20 stores in one day. You done went here, you done walked it. You know you a size 8. You still go in there. You want to try the 8 on, the 8.5. You put the shoe on. You walk around in it. You envision it with the outfit. You thinking about how it's going to go with your handbag. You do a lot of work to ensure your outfit comes together. A lot of persistentness, consistency. I'm gonna go over here. You've been to 4 stores. This last store is about to close at 8 o'clock. It's 7:45, and you really think you can go in the store and find shoes in 15 minutes, but you go anyway. Why do we give up so easily when the first one or the first thing that didn't work out for us? Wow. We got to have the mentality of, girl, I'm putting this outfit together. I'm gonna be fine. Okay. We got to have that same energy. I'm going to get better. I'm going to stop talking to myself like this. I'm not going to be like this next year. We have to have that same energy. And to now jump on the Carla's.
Don't help you jump on it better. He says men don't cry, don't show emotions, and will be nothing like your no good parent. Okay. That's what we've heard. You know what I'm saying? Men don't cry. I'm like, okay, so why do they have tears then? What's going on with that? Okay?
Exactly.
And so let me just do Lanika. Yes, ma'am, sis. I heard that from a young age, and I heard it all my life internally. I learned to tone it out through music therapy. It has worked for me. I don't hear it as much now because music has turned it out. Go ahead on, Lanika Lord Thomas, aka Trap Therapist. I do my own stuff at home. We'll go back to Carla Kimber. Go forward.
Yeah. So how we dismantle those thoughts. So I'm a huge proponent of CBT work, cognitive behavioral therapy work. It's really grounded in essentially what you think is what you believe, and what you believe is what you go find in the world. So if you go around thinking that you're no good, nobody loves you, you don't deserve it, you'll start to believe those things. And you can have Mr. Perfect right in front of you, and you will not see him or her because you have ultimately believed that you don't deserve it, that you're not worthy, and or that person is not genuinely interested in you, whatever the case is going to be. But ultimately, how do we dismantle those thoughts? How do we start chipping away at those thoughts? You can ask yourself a couple of questions, but ultimately, I would encourage you to get connected with a therapist who is really skilled in this area. But we start chipping away at those thoughts by putting little opportunities of doubt. Like you ask yourself, for instance, is that statement 100% true? Is it 100% true that I'm not smart enough? Smart people don't get jobs. Smart people don't have college degrees. Smart people don't have high school degrees. Smart people are not motivate and encourage other people. So you go from believing this thought 100% true, like you said it like it's facts, 100% true. And now you start to ask questions and you just like 100% to maybe 95 to 90. And as you're chipping away at the belief value in that statement, your behaviors will change. Because you can't tell when a woman gets fine, you can't tell her she not fine. She has believed that she is fine.
She's fine.
She is fine.
You're fine.
But that's the same mentality that we have and how we operate in. When you believe you ain't gonna be nothing, baby, you're not gonna be nothing.
That's right.
When you go to believing that I can be, I'm not where I want to be, but I have potential. You start chipping away at that thought, your behavior of I can't, which means I'm not going to try, I'm not going to involve myself, I'm not paying attention, goes from, well, maybe I should apply. Maybe I should look into it. Maybe I'm going to give thought to what type of work I want to do. I'm really good with kids. Maybe I should try something in that area. You see how the behaviors are completely different?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we chip away at those thoughts.
Okay, so your sister said, speak, sis. She also want everybody to know that she knew the answer, but she thought her sister needed to explain it. Thank you so much, Carla Kimber, for helping me on my show. I love it. Okay.
She's been in trap therapy a couple times. She know how we do.
Yeah, true princess. I'm the same. I've heard it all my life, and you are static, and you will never make it to this age or whatever. I think that we all have got a whole bunch of words. You know, that's the reason why affirmation books are booming. Okay, words of affirmation. And you see that a lot on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter if you see so much of what is that? Words of affirmation. If the noise in your head is so loud, you just reading words. You are not comprehending. It is not going in, because what you're saying is that you got to basically, to me, clean out some stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So some good stuff can get in there. But if you steady keep letting 90% of that be negative and 10% of it kind of be positive, try to come in, it can't win. It's a battle. Like
exactly.
you said, it's confrontation time. It's a battle. Let's take this outside.
Let's take it outside. But I think the other thing about affirmations is that I think a lot of people have gotten into them. It's trending right now. And it's trending because a lot of people with the pandemic, sometimes I call the pandemic the panorama, just for a little chuckle. What the panorama is it made you sit your butt down, and you had to deal with you. All your distractions, all the things that had your attention and focus, all those things were removed from you. So it was literally you dealing with you, and the things you've been running from or avoiding, that it was right there in front of you. Mm-hmm. So I feel like affirmations really became huge because there was a lot of us that was running from a lot of the thoughts up here. The part about affirmations that depending on the books or how you engage in them, it's really about internalizing. You being conscientious, you controlling and doing breath work, you are grounding yourself to take in, receive it, believe it, think it, act it. A lot of it is you just read the thing like, yeah, you looking good, back that thing up, you fine and you courageous and you can do anything. That sounds good and feels good, but you got to do the portion of let me ground myself and truly take it in up here.
That's right.
I'm taking it in up here, so it is now stored, and now I'm believing it, and now I'm going to go act it. I'm going to find it. And I think sometimes there could be a little bit of a disconnect with those two things where we say it, but do you believe it?
That's right.
Are you living it?
Identify, just getting with that conversation. It's almost like getting with you. Okay, come on, let's just get with me. Okay.
Right.
And deal with it and be as aggressive as you allow the words to come in your head. As loud as they coming in, you need to be even louder to deal with it. And Carla Kimber, you know, I'm gonna have you on every show, Carla. She said, believe it. Okay. And that's where it is. Okay. So True Prince, I will be 46 years old. I'm 46 years old. I've been on my own since 9 without any felonies. I am good. Okay.
Hey, yes, you are,
I think
sir.
he said something about his hand is broken and I'm having a hard time typing, but you get it out there.
You sure are. Thank you.
Get it out there, you know, but someone is asking where you are. I want to say where you at. I was trying to be proper. Where are you located?
I am currently located.
But I'm going to show you guys now something, some information about her right here. This is her website, and I love the name of it, Speak Wellness, Behavioral Health. I believe that's it. Okay. So you can go there and check her out. Okay. She also has an email address, but the word Speak Wellness, it kind of like rounds out exactly what we was talking about. Speak Wellness. Okay. Speak Wellness. When somebody said, how are things going? I said, all is well. Okay. You can see behind me, if you can read it, said, all is well with my soul. Okay. Because I'm speaking. All is well. Where I know stuff is toe down for real. But I know that all is well with my soul. So if you want to talk to her, she's on Facebook, she's on Instagram, she's everywhere. So no excuse. Okay. Not checking her out. So I think Lanika said she is from Milwaukee. Way up north, girl. I know you way down south. But she's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and she is doing the thing. And she's all over the place. Okay. She is all over the place, So yeah. I'm so happy that she's here. I don't know what to say. I just don't, because I think that this is a healthy conversation about keeping it real, understanding the words that's coming in your head. Okay. Because, they always say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. That's true. We've heard that all our lives. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. So when you're allowing those things to come in, you're wasting your mind time, if there's such a thing, okay? You're wasting your time, So no, that's really, really super powerful and stuff. So is there anything, oh wait, Darren said, what city are you in? I just answered that, Darren. I'm trying to get it together. Okay, here we go. Sister Carla gonna come to the rescue. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I think that's the Green Bay Packers or somebody up there.
Oh no.
In Wisconsin.
Well, the Packers in Wisconsin, I bear down. We rocking with the Bears at my house.
Are you serious?
Okay, yes, my husband will have it no other way.
Okay, and look, Liz rustling the Crabtree, mind time. You like that, Liz? I know you did. It was mind time. Okay. And then Darren says, too cold. You ain't lying, Darren. What's up with that? I wouldn't know how to face it. I would be telling my mind, it's cold outside. It's cold outside.
Oh, you better speak that thing like you wanted to see it. I am comfortable and warm. I am comfortable and warm.
I'm not. My son was in Chicago. He said that Chicago wind whip you. If you turn your head to the side, you're still getting beat up. It don't matter, okay? It don't matter. So is there anything, I want you to unpack this before we get out of here today. Let me find, this has been a really good, healthy, you kind of talked about this, but mental illness is closer than you think. Talk about that a little bit, please.
Yeah, I always like to just really, here I'm going to take a deep breath because this is really near and dear to my heart. I think that when we look at, and I always focus, with all those things in the sayings we talked about earlier, one of the things that I was very much brought up in is that you take care of family, you look out for family, you look out for your own, and then you can help other people, right? And doing that, it's near and dear to my heart to make sure that the work that I'm doing and the knowledge that I have, and most importantly, the gift that I have, not my gift, the gift that was given to me for my purpose, is to serve and to help. And I want to help people that look like me, that talk like me, that have similar makeup and upbringing as me. Not saying that I'm not available and accessible to other people, but I truly want to help my community. I started out my field in the field of social work as an ongoing child protective social worker. What really ignited my desire to learn more and be better able to help and assist others was to get an addiction certification, because it wasn't that mothers or fathers or families intentionally, that was very rare, where they intentionally wanted to cause harm to their children. They were sick. They were addicted, or new language, they were dependent on substances. It's really hard to say, hey, turn your depression off and parent. Turn your bipolar or your schizophrenia off and parent. We were more inclined, and what I saw is that people were much more comfortable treating their mental or emotional needs with substances than working with professionals. So that's really where I got this, like, well, let me do some more. I want to learn some more. What is this all about? And in doing that work, I've worked in every level of care you can work for. And let me just do a little side note, because God is in me, and where I go, y'all gonna get a little bit. Okay.
Go ahead. The reality is that it's
every job I've worked, everything that I've done has prepared me and equipped me to be in a role that I'm in right now. I have been an acute psychiatric social worker, the person who is lashing out and is causing physical harm. They're trying to kill themselves or kill somebody else. I've been a social worker in that situation. When people get well, they stabilize, they transition to like a partial hospitalization program where you go 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. I worked in that facility. Then when you made more progress, you stable on your medication, you're integrated back home. Then you step down to intensive outpatient treatment where you come a couple times a week for 3-4 hours a day. I worked there. And then as you continue on your path of healing and getting better, you then start seeing somebody one-on-one. I worked in that level of care. So I say that with a lot of pride. And I feel like all of those experiences and instances have shaped and prepared me for what I'm doing now. And that is really understanding and being able to speak to the fact that mental illness is so much closer than you know.
Wow.
Your bestie, your friend, your office mate, your neighbor. You may not be the person that has had a personal experience with it, but I guarantee you somebody you love has been affected by this. Now think about it from this perspective. What if that somebody you love felt so much pain internally and they felt so much guilt and shame about saying how they feel or sharing their emotional challenges that they're having? They feel so much guilt and shame that they don't make it. They hurt themselves or they die in that thing. Wouldn't you be inclined to be an advocate, to be a support, to be someone that says, hey, we don't make jokes like that. We don't talk about people like that. You being, ain't no such thing as you crazy. It's so much closer than you know. So I always charge every person that anybody you love may be dealing with something like this. And because you love them, treat everybody with that same love.
Wow.
Kindness, peace, be peaceful, gratitude. Give them grace. What if we all just gave each other grace?
Yes.
Yeah, that person was talking crazy, but let me just give them grace because I don't know what they got going on. It ain't always easy. It's not always easy.
Wow.
But you just don't know what somebody is going through. You don't know if they was just at the hospital all night because their child tried to commit suicide. Our young Black kids, they killing themselves.
That's right.
We went from not killing ourselves, and I say that from a statistical standpoint, we had very low rates. From 2017 to now, we are killing ourselves 4 times more than Caucasian counterparts. We went from not completing suicide to completing suicide and completing it at a rate 4 times higher than our counterparts.
Jesus. Whoa. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Lanika from Jacksonville said, oh my God, this tonight was a confirmation for me. Thank you both for your obedience. Lanika, thank you for coming on. You know, man, that was a powerful word that you had about mental illness is closer than you think. Okay. I'm sorry I got the word wrong, but nevertheless, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. This ain't no spelling class anyway. It's closer than you think. Okay. All right. So no, this has been powerful, engaging. And again, you guys need to reach out to her and see what's up with her, or follow her on Facebook. Go there and follow her because she's out there doing the doggone thing, making waves, you know, and her whole goal is to cut down on the violence. You know, people might say, well, trap music is violent, but you know, she told me, she says, the way that they do the mind thing, that even though it might be whatever, your mind is so conditioned at this point that you don't even hear that. You're thinking about healing. Okay. So no, go there, follow her. Okay. Check her out. You know, hey, she said on her name that she's Tarsha Wiggins, your trap therapist. Okay. Meaning that's who she is. So, you know, we're coming to almost an hour, right? And I think I gave her Facebook address. Let me see what they saying here. Let me see. Somebody said, Annabelle, yes, grace and mercy. Faith has been my leaning post. This is beyond powerful. Okay. And then Brenda Eddings Bay, please put her info in the message chat. If not, I'm gonna put it in on my Facebook page. Would that help as well? Let me write it down. Facebook page. I'll write her info in there. Okay. And some of her info is on her no, I don't know if it's on that flyer or not, you know. And Facebook address, I just gave it. I'll give it again. Lanika said, Miss Marilyn, you're awesome. Too funny in your truth. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You got to right. Okay. Put our info in comments, please. All right. I'll make sure. And Brenda Eddings says yes. And Carla Kimber said to her sister, introducing to some, okay, this is Tarsha Wiggins, my sister, okay, but it has been a pleasure, and I'm just so happy you came on and took the time. I can feel your compassion. I can feel every bit of your heartbeat in this thing. Like you're real about this thing, and I love that you took the time. You took the time to even say, I know it's something better out there for my people, okay? We have to start to do that and take ownership. If we got it, why not share it with somebody else? Okay, you know, it's like my show is. I'm transforming minds one show at a time. Okay, my thing is to get the information out there. Is your job to take the information and deal with it. Okay, so I appreciate you being here so much, and I'm gonna move right on over to I start calling my word. Let's see here. Real talk. There is no health without mental health. Okay. Because I say it like this. You can have $1 million, but if your mind is not right, you can't spend it no how. Okay. So it's important that you understand that you cannot be healthy if your mind is not healthy. So
yes.
at the end, who's saying what here? All right now. Here she's so funny. Marilyn makes the ride so much fun, but her professional manners are always in the mix. You know, okay. Thank you so much, and thank everybody for joining us today.
Thank you.
Come back in 2 weeks, and I'm gonna be talking about anger management. This is a guy who wrote a book, and the name of it I think is Road to Nowhere. And how he is you know, still battling. So I got his book, and I want him to come on and let's talk about anger management. You know, that's a big issue. Okay, so I mean, all is well, and I thank you guys for joining tonight, and thank you so much, Tarsha Wiggins. Okay, thank you so much for joining. So until we see you guys next time, okay, remember that there could be no health without mental health. So take care, everybody.
Take care. Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.